zit naast mij en we hebben hem eerder vanmiddag of vanavond gezien. Ty, we watched you and of course the entire band. And I just said it already to you. I felt like I was run over by a truck, and that is a compliment. Do you see what I mean?
Well, you don't look flat to me.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. But your show is just, it's like so much energy. It's almost, it's hard to cope when it's still late afternoon.
Well, it's late afternoon, but I think, I know my parents, and I think everyone else's parents did the same thing. My parents told me to never accept no for an answer.
Well, that was clear because you just said to the crowd all the time, I cannot hear you, come on, give me energy.
I think in general, people are excited to be invited to a good time. If people will sit there and they will stand, or people will be innocent bystanders in political situations, or people will be wallflowers at a dance until they're invited. So we're just trying to be the invitees and get people to party, get people to speak out loud, and get people to dance.
Earlier in your show, you asked for a moment of silence because of the things happening in the US, the shootings. Was that something related to what happened yesterday?
Well, not just yesterday. Yesterday were the shootings that were retaliation to the shootings that had happened recently. 2 shootings that happened in 12 hours where it had to do with the police and maybe not taking enough time to make the right decision that I'm sure they're trained to make. And that led to two deaths. And yesterday's Texas incident was it was in response. It was the people acting against the police, which is a hard thing too, because we can't, in times like this, you can't develop a sense that will allow you to generalize. So just like every black person is not like whatever those people were assuming might have caused them to need to shoot someone, every police officer is not like the police officers that did what they did to the people that were killed the days before. So it's hard because times like this, when people don't have enough information, or sometimes when people are just angry, we're not equipped really to handle ourselves in these kind of situations. So people just act out. And I think if as human beings, we would do more work on an everyday basis.
Now tell me, how does that relate to being a support act of, for example, AC/DC or The Who? I think you have a very interesting manager, no?
Yes, and the Rolling Stones Doc McGee, it has nothing to do with that. But if that's the lead-in, it's been great to tour with the Rolling Stones and the AC/DC and The Who, and we are managed by Doc McGee, but that has nothing to do with what I said. What I had to say really had to do about us as humans. Like, a lot of times we talk about the big things, but we forget to talk about the small things. Like, for me, it's more important for me to say that we've played with Alan Stone, and that we've played with Leanne La Havas, and we've played with Paloma Faith, and we've played with all these other acts that are like us, that are trying to have people know their names. The Who and the Rolling Stones and AC/DC, they don't need promotion from Vintage Trouble. Doc McGee doesn't need promotion from Vintage Trouble.
I fully understand, but it also shows that you can go any way. You can be with AC/DC on the stage. You can also be with Leanne La Havas on the stage. You sort
Like
of
Lenny Kravitz.
blend with everyone because your music is rock, it's guitars, it's soul, it's like James Brown. Yes, we are so ready to hear it.
NPO Radio 2.